Hello to my beautiful and lovely gamers, my name is Jones. Today we're talking about how not to fucking suck at peaking with Widowmaker. So many people, when I private coach them, even in higher tiers, actually have issues with peaking and getting good angles and actually playing Widowmaker outside of just click heads forehead. It is super easy, so we'll be going over how to play her defensively, offensively. This of course also helps out for other FPS games about how to peak, because a lot of these things are very similar in other FPS games. Now of course a like on the video helps against YouTube's abusive algorithm. Comment your Widowmaker tips so we can help out the community together. So if you have a tip that you use to improve as Widowmaker, get better at Widowmaker, drop that down below so hopefully somebody can read that and improve. Subscribe to your channel, it's very appreciated. And we're doing a giveaway on our Discord server right now, me and another staff member known as Hole. So if you join our Discord server, and which is linked down in the description, and check our server announcement channel, then you will know how to enter the giveaway. We're giving away 200 OWL tokens to either buy an MVP skin, something similar, or just rep your favorite OWL team. Of course, if you want to improve, rank up, and get better at the game, it's 50 euros for a 2-hour session. You can hit me up on the Discord server. Well, it doesn't matter if you're bronze or top 500. Now, let's begin. So, actually, I want to show a really cool tip. I think that me and my good friend Vega have to swap spots for this. It's a Venomine body block trick. I'm not sure how effective it is over here. But let's see, like, maybe a little bit taller, like this. So right now I have a Venomine in front of my head, so I believe if Vega tries to headshot me, it destroys the Venomine. And now I win, right? It's actually a pretty nice trick. You can do this. It's mostly effective on defensive. It is really trash if you're playing offensively. But it's actually really good to do defense side. If you know that you're going to have an angle, you have to note, right, there's only, for example, right now, I'm aiming between the legs of the Venomine, right? So if I'm standing here, logically, I can't see this corner. So it's actually a really nice trick to just have that small advantage, especially if you're playing defensively. Now, peaking as Widowmaker. Right now, we are just using Horizon Uncommonly as a standard map because it's it's just a nice map to have this on. But it's quite simple. The difficulty as an attacking Widowmaker compared to a defensive Widowmaker is right now Vega knows that I'm over here. So I peek this, he's hardscoping me. If I now unpeak, he can change angle. I don't know where he changed. Most people would say that, oh well, okay, I have the corner, so I can choose when to peek, but that doesn't matter. If I now go and scope the same spot, he's now on point. So now I don't just have to peek and charge my rifle, but I also now have to react to where the fuck he is, flick down to his head, and shoot him before he gets me. This is a huge disadvantage for me. He can just hardscope and camp my corner, and I can't do shit about it. Now there's a couple of ways to do it. Number one is to try to avoid a slow peek. Most people like to hardscope peek like this. And if me and Vega actually swaps places here, and he takes the attacking side and slow peek me, you will see that I get to see his body before he can see mine, right? So he will slowly but surely strafe into my crosshair. I get a reaction time on that. So you don't want to do that. That's like the opposite of what you want to do. In some situation, you can do it if you are slow peeking a corner, like defensively, and you're like trying to get that fully charged shot off. Sometimes it works, but just remember that he can see my body before I can see his, and he will get the shot off first, or at least have the advantage that way. What most people like to do, if they have to peek this corner right now with no utility, right, is to jump and then scope, right? Even though, again, he still has the advantage that he has a fully charged rifle slot, he still knows where I'm coming from. What you want to do, though, is not jump like this. Right now I jumped too close to the corner, so now I peeked him while I was charging. You want to jump and charge, and then kind of like on the apex you want to peek. So you get as much charge as you drop, so you peek with as much rifle charge as possible, so you're close to a headshot. Remember, you don't need a fully charged shot to headshot, right? I only need to do approximately this, now he would be dead, right? So jump, and then on your apex, you want to fall. You don't want to jump too close to the corner, because then you peek too much of the body too early. That is some ways to do it. Logically, another way, which a lot of people don't think about, this is to kind of, he's hardscoping, right? So he's focusing a lot on like checking the reaction time. You can jiggle peek to try to make him shoot and then kind of bait out the shot, and now you have an advantage. Another thing that you can do before you do a jump shot, what a lot of people don't think about, is to fire a Venomine and then jump. And this has nothing to do with the fact that he most likely will track the Venomine. He's not dumb, but it's just to make him think about something else, break his concentration for a second. It gives a very tiny advantage, but that advantage can mean a lot. Doing something and making him think about, well, why is he doing that, and just make his head not focus on the fact that he's hard camping my corner, will in some situation give me that little edge that is important to have. Now, of course, watch out because there's a animation time before you can scope again. So you need to kind of time this. Some people like to kind of shoot it up so that it falls and then do the scoping. So it falls down and becomes a little bit more visible. Now, the best way to do it is to pick an angle, right? If I ask you a CSGO question, and anyone that's ever played CS knows this, how do you peek an AWPer with no utility? You don't. You either corner peek and try to bait out the shot, or you just don't. You get another angle. And that's what we want to do. In this scenario right here, it's kind of bad because I can't back off here without him seeing me, right? I can't back off to the shield without him actually getting a free shot off as soon as I peek him. So that is a little bit of an issue, and can in theory run like this. But if he's holding over here, then I die here, right? Oh, sorry. If he holds in that angle, then I die, right? So that's, of course, the issue in this scenario. And in a lot of scenarios, you can't always do that. The best way, and you probably already know this, is to do a grapple shot, right? Again, you don't want to grapple like this, right? Because a lot of people struggle with the fact that you go up and then you kind of freeze and then you go down. Most people are better at shooting when you drop on the drop instead of on the apex. When you fly up, a lot of people struggle with that because it's a change of space, right? You increase your speed and then it slows down a lot, and then you kind of slow on the apex, and then you start dropping. So what a lot of people like to do is they like to scope, and now that I'm falling and the shot becomes much easier for me to track, then I can take the shot, right? So I'm charging it fully here, and it's super easy to track him, right? That's what a lot of people like to do. Logically, don't let him see the grapple, right? Try to do it in a way that he cannot see my grapple. That way it's easier. You need to abuse the enemy fact. The fact that the enemy is pretty bad in lower elos. This goes all the way up to like diamond and so on. What a lot of people do is exactly what he's doing now. They are hard scoping and not moving, right? And you'll see like really pro montages. If Vega, you can just stay there. You will see like these pro montages of a Widowmaker that's like standing completely still, up on high ground, and just like clicking heads like this. And people will be like, oh my god, look at the fucking aim. He's so fucking good, right? But he's not strafing. He's not unscoping. It's just standing completely still and moving the mouse. And it makes them incredibly easy targets, and makes you an easy target, not just for Widowmakers, but for Anas, Zenyatas, for Genjis, Tracers, McCrees, Ashes, Hanzos, everything that can have any form of range makes it super easy, and we want to abuse that. The fact that he's hard scoping me makes it super easy for me to land a grapple shot because he's not moving. So I have plenty of time to do this shot, right? The issue becomes, and what you want to do is to constantly move around between each shot, right? This is also something that you can abuse if he's really bad, because if he misses on me, if we both peek each other and he misses first, right, and I do a lot of strafing and he misses a shot, so if you just take a shot and miss, right, now I have a peek advantage. Now I don't have to move, and if he doesn't move fast enough, then I have a free kill here, right? What you want to do as a defending Widow, if their Widows on offense, so if you just go on offense, and me and Vega might have this epic duel between each other, and we are shooting shots at each other, and we're constantly missing, right? Because we're kind of choking a little bit, right? Is that I constantly want to be changing this angle, right? I don't want to peek twice, right? For example, doing stuff like this, where I drop from the high ground. He cannot see me here. I jump, I charge, and then drop from the high ground. And I get a free shot off, and a full charge here, right? Constantly changing your angles is what makes a good Widowmaker. Same with doing this, right? Right now, I'm just corner peeking him, trying to kind of bait out a shot, and if he misses, then I have him, right? Because now he doesn't have charge advantage anymore on me, right? So baiting out shots with movement, kind of just like doing this, and then taking the shot, and then kind of maybe moving, while maybe I do a grapple here, take the shot, maybe I miss, charge again, another angle, back up again, takes another angle, right? All of this gives me a movement that he cannot predict where the fuck I'm peeking, so he cannot hard scope my corner like that. And if he doesn't move himself, and if he doesn't have good mechanics, and this is why good mechanics for Widowmakers are, because number one, if you don't know where they are, you might have to do a flick, and that is much more difficult. Number two, you're constantly moving, you're constantly trying to kind of, you know, bait out shots and taking a different angle, right? That is completely new to you, but that is how you become good at Widow, right? The same as I said when I was attacking, right? If I was hard peeking this corner and Vega knows where I am, it's super easy for him. But if he tries to peek the corner and I drop to another position, he's aiming top, and I'm aiming bot, meaning I have an advantage on this peak. And you gotta do that against everybody. Swap up your angle. It also goes if you want to be an effective Widow against Anas and other support players, because what they will do if they see me standing over here and just shooting the same angle over and over again. They will just hide behind here. They will know where I am. Veigar can grapple shot peek me, he can hard scope peek me, he can do anything. And at the same time, the supports can avoid my LOS, the tanks can easily block me with shields because they know what angle I am. But if I'm constantly taking and changing position, changing altitude, going to spots that is unusual for Widowmakers to hold, then they are getting surprised. They're not counter-strafing me, they're not hard scoping me, they're not suppressing me with shots. So I don't have to care about ducking and weaving and crouch spamming and constantly moving around and not being shot, because I have an advantage of the fact that I have the element of surprise because of my angle is different. And you gotta do that with the Widowmaker. And that's also what makes Widow so difficult. Because it's not difficult to stand still and hardscope something. That's super fucking easy. But constantly moving around, taking new angles, and doing peaks such as jiggle peek in your corner, then taking the shot, having good jump shot mechanics, right? So that you try to jump, so you start to jump behind cover, and then get the full charge as you pass the cover, so that you get so that your charge time out of cover is as minimized as possible, and using grapple to create new angles that are interesting and also surprising is what makes it difficult. Right? For example, you can slide off this high ground here, right? Making it super easy for me to get an angle on that corner, which I normally won't behold, right? Normally, for example, I'm holding here, right? Very easy for supports to duck me. As soon as I slide over here, I get a completely different angle. And because, again, this roof, for example, is tilted, I have a long slide time that gives me a long time to take that shot. The last tip that I have for most people is to please take your time for the shot, okay? Shooting and missing constantly doesn't help, especially in Widowmaker versus Widowmaker tool, because the more time me and Veigar misses on each other, the higher chance it is that one of us will be lucky and land the shot. Rather let him miss his first shot, and then I can stand completely still and take this and take him out. That makes hit your consistency. It also helps you improve your accuracy while you're playing your rank games. That's it for today's video. Even with these longer, please try to use some of these tricks. Don't always peek the same angle. Constantly switch it up. If you have to do a jump peek, please jump on the apex behind cover so you land with as much charge. If you're doing grapple shot and you find it difficult, remember that it's much easier on the fall than on the initial engage upwards. So you can use that if you have cover that you can, then you can use that so that you only peek as you start falling. It makes it so much easier for yourself. And a small trick is always to have that Venom Mine in front of your head, because it creates a small personal shield, which gives you that small advantage, right? And we're always looking for these small advantages when it comes to our Widowmaker duels. That is really what makes the difference between two equally skilled Widowmakers, or just somebody. Again, it also just does that Widowmakers that have less and worse aim than you can cheese it by hard scoping a corner. You constantly swapping this around, peeking correctly, does that technique does not work anymore. So that's all for today. Like, subscribe, comment, it really does help out on the channel. Again, join the giveaway on a Discord server, which is linked down in the description. And of course, again, if you want to hire me as a private coach, you want to rank up, improve, and get better at this game much faster, it's 50 euros for a 2-hour session. Hit me up on a Discord server. Doesn't matter if you're bronze or top 500. As always, guys, my name is Joel. You guys please take care, stay positive. As always, keep your enemy in your crosshair.